Hi everyone, this is Jacqui Cooper with JCooperTravels, and I want to thank everyone for listening to the talk show podcast and being on the YouTube as well to see our talk of the day. Today, I'm really excited about our conversation because I have a group of individuals that are in business that are actually involved with TextP2P. And we're going to learn more about TextP2P in a quick second. For those that are new to finding out about JCooperTravels, let me just share a little bit about my background and how I got started. I am an attorney, and about 18 years ago, I actually transitioned into special ed teaching. So I've been a teacher for many years. And I'm also an entrepreneur and I love to travel. So I have been exploring the world prior to COVID and soon to be exploring it again. But I also know that in addition to traveling geographically, we also travel in our life, both in our career as well as in our personal life. And so that's why I like talking with others about their inspirational stories and their journeys. And that's why we have the three individuals on today that I'm really excited to introduce. We have the creator of TextP2P. Greg, why don't you introduce yourself, and then we'll bounce it over to Kathy and as well as to Valerie.
Sure. So just a quick introduction. I'm Greg Armfield. I created an application called TextP2P. It stands for person to person. So basically I wanted to make it easy to use, simple, that anybody could use, and that the text messages would feel like you're just chatting with another person. And I created this application, started it back in 2018, launched it as a business in 2019, and it's been growing rapidly ever since.
I know. And I have been late to get on board, but I am super excited to share with everyone my experiences. Kathy, how are you today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing super. So why don't you go ahead and share more about who you are, your business, and we'll find out how you're using TextP2P in a short second as well.
Okay, my name is Kathy Steinman. I'm an independent sales director with Mary Kay Cosmetics, and I love to party. That's what I do for a living. I party with women.
You know what? I think we all need that these days, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Valerie, how are you doing today?
I'm good. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Sure.
I'm Valerie Pisierra. I'm the executive director for Loudon Cares. We're a nonprofit in Leesburg, Virginia that services all of Loudon County. And we're an umbrella organization, so we support our nonprofits and our residents.
That's awesome. So I know, like I mentioned, I have gotten to become involved with TextP2P actually just about 2 weeks ago. And so I'm really new to this, but I decided to dive in because it's super easy to use. And I realized I needed to communicate more with some of my connections, both through LinkedIn, the talk shows, and other ways via text. Kathy and Valerie, why have you started to look at using this application?
Okay, I'll go first. It's like a flip a coin, right? One of the things that I was looking for my business in my back office and my systems is something that would allow me to communicate with the women that I'm mentoring and with my customer base, but it not take me a ton of time. My gifts and talents are best used when I'm working with my people. And so I needed systems that would allow me to communicate with them in an efficient and professional way that still sounded very, very personal, because as I'm sending the messages out, they are from my heart to their heart. And this allows me to do this effortlessly.
So are you able to create like a standard text and then it adds their name to it so they think it's from you, or how are you doing it? Because I'm new here to this.
Right.
So all I did so far is create my account. I was able to test it. I know what keywords are, which we'll talk about in a second. So I'm still learning all this, and it's a lot of fun to me and not scary. So I like that.
I do too. And I've used other texting services before.
Yeah.
And hands down, the reason I switched over to TextP2P with Greg and the reason I stay with him is because it's simple. I'm not a tech savvy person. It's not that I claim that, it's just, we have to face reality.
Yeah.
Right? And my gifts and talents are people skills. It's not technology, and I'm okay with that. And so you surround yourself with people who are good at what you do, and Greg is. And the thing I love about that is he's very patient with when I come up against what I feel is a brick wall. He very easily explains to me, oh, that's really not a brick wall, and here's how you take the next step forward. And I'm like, oh, duh, of course. But he has this program laid out so easily, and the videos are short, sweet, to the point, and so clear that even somebody like me who's not a tech person can go, oh, I got this. And so the first couple of weeks, his number was on speed dial on my phone. And now I very rarely talk to him because he's shown me the resources he has built for people like me. And now I go there first. And if for some reason, well, actually, there's never been a case that has not answered my question and gotten me where I needed to go. So I like you, I use the core features that it has, but there's so much more in his program that I'm little by little just, adding more and more of what he already has in the service into my business. I'm still very, very excited about what he offers and the difference that it has made in my job.
Valerie, I'm going to ask you a question in a second, but sorry to interrupt you, Greg. Kathy, what do you think are the core services?
Being able to set up a template.
Okay.
Those templates are when I'm working with somebody new into my organization, the routine things of how she sets up her website and how she, goes into our website that my company offers their independent sales force members, where she finds things on that. It's all routine stuff. It's not something I have to do individually. That's something I can put into a template and then put her into a campaign and feed it to her a little bit at a time. That saves me time to then work with her more individually on the things outside of that scope.
That makes sense. And I think I experienced one of those campaigns that Greg created because there's like an intro campaign that I believe you created, Greg. So as you become a new customer, you learn more about the new things that the program offers. Is that true? Is that what I experienced?
Yeah. I have to eat my own dog food, right? So I use it to onboard my new customers, and they get text and ringless voicemail and email from the program automatically. But if I could just add just a little bit to what Kathy was saying is the reason that I designed TextP2P to be so easy for her to use is because I was her, like a couple of years ago. I also have a fitness business. I have about 10,000 clients, and I was looking for a texting provider that could help me better communicate with them. And I looked at some of the leading ones that were on the market, and I hated them. They were, complicated. They were expensive. They made my customer, force my customers to opt in again to receiving text, even though I had permission already to text them. It's sent from a shared short code, which is one of those 5 or 6 digit numbers, which I hated. It wasn't personalized. So that's why I built TextP2P the way I did. And I took out all the features that I thought were too complicated or unnecessary, and I just boiled it down to the simplest things. And then I added, that's how I started. And then I started adding in more features based upon what my customers wanted. So they asked me for, hey, can this do ringless voicemail? Hey, can this do email? Hey, can this do appointment reminders and things like that? And that's how I started building onto the core platform that I had.
And I will say the ringless voicemail, I'm so glad you added that, because before you added it, I was using yet another service for that. And I was thrilled with the service. I mean, it was cost effective. It was, efficient. It was easy to set up. And then Greg comes along with it. And I was like, oh, this is great, because now I have what I need to communicate with the women I'm mentoring and with my customers in one place. I'm not scattered. Okay, what is that passcode to get into that? Okay, what's the website? I don't have to do any of that. I just go to my TextP2P and voila, I have a brainchild right there. So I love it.
So Valerie, I don't want to exclude you from this conversation. I know that you are involved with the nonprofit world. So how are you using this? How has this helped you? And what little things have you learned from using the program as well?
Yeah, well, I love the program as well. I mean, for a nonprofit, we have to be really careful about our costs and like how we have to be good stewards of the money, of the donations and contributions and grants and everything that we get as a nonprofit. And so for me, I'm always looking for things. If it's free, it's for me. That's always my first one. But, there's only so much you can do sometimes with that. And so if I'm going to use something new, I need it to be economical. And what I love about TextP2P is that I can use it in certain times of the year. I'm going to be using it more. I can up the cost for depending on this amount of service that I use, or I can keep it sort of just kind of hovering there for, I don't know, it's like $5 or something like that when I'm not using it. And how I use it is in a couple different ways. We have, as a nonprofit, we have to gauge or measure our impact that we have on the community. And so I use the survey. There's a survey feature with the keywords, right, that start the survey. And I can survey both my residents that receive financial assistance through our Connect line and ask them, things like, did you know where you could get help before you called us? Did the help that you got make a positive change in your situation? Things that we need to measure so that we can show our impact in the community. But then I can also set up another one for my volunteers, because we have a volunteer center online platform. So I can send it to my volunteers and ask them things like, again, did you know where to go to volunteer before you got on our platform? And did you learn about a new nonprofit? Because again, that shows our impact. So I use it in that way, but then I can also use it to my donors and to my volunteers that are potential donors for things like Give Choose. That's going to happen on March 16th, right? So we have a campaign, we set it up ahead of time, and it's that sort of drip campaign. So it'll be like, hey, Give Choose is coming up. Don't forget, and then 2 days, don't forget, Give Choose is in 2 days, and then Give Choose is today. Choose to give, here's the link, they can click on it, they can give it to Loudon Cares. And so we use it in a lot of different ways. And what is really nice is when we do our surveys, the data comes in and then it's already in nice graphs for me and percentages. And I'm not sitting there with the calculator going, okay, how many people responded? And so I don't have to do any of that. It's all, the analytics are all there. And as a small nonprofit, being the only full-time employee in my nonprofit, I have to be able to be efficient. It has to be easy for me. It has to be something where I'm not doing a lot of hand calculations and things like that to make it turn into what I need it for the nonprofit. And so he's really thought of all of those things. And it is, once you get the hang of it, and again, I have to sing the praises of Greg and his customer service, because he is always there for me when I need him. And even if it's just sending me a video, because I'm not, I'm busy. I've got, if you ever saw my computer, literally 40 tabs open at one time, because that's how I'm working as a small nonprofit in any other small business, right? And he can target me right in, look at this video. And 9 times out of 10, I can look at the video and I'm like, okay, I got it. But he's very patient until I do get it. And so that we really appreciate about Greg,
Yes,
I'm sure.
we do.
So I'm hearing a few different things, but for those that are listening, I'm going to let you take part in this experiment. My phone number, which you can then write down, but I'll also have it in the blog below, is 301-215. Now I have to remember this, 3518. And my keyword that you can put in there is, you can choose 1 of 2 words if you want. You can put JCooperTravels, which is right above, or if you're interested in learning about crypto, you can put crypto. So those are 2 things that I want to share with you. Is you get a separate phone number, so you don't have to give out your personal phone number, which I was extremely excited about. Depending upon the campaign or the podcast, because I have CryptoMom as one podcast, I have JCooperTravels as the other. Depending upon the podcast that you're listening to, you put in the keyword, and then once you put in the keyword to my phone number, again, I'll repeat it, 301-215-3518, and I'm still memorizing it. It will then send you a question and a welcome message, and it'll ask you for your name, and it'll ask you for your email, and then I'll be able to communicate with you and offer you different things. So that's really great. And the things that both of you have been talking about, I've been thinking in my head, I forgot about the fact that it will send you reminders.
Yeah.
I forgot about the fact that, or I'm just learning about the Ringless voice message. I mean, that is also great. And also the survey, I'm thinking, how can I use that? That's another great tool. And then both of you mentioned the information in the back office in terms of collecting the data, in terms of responses. And that's also something that I had not even thought about, but it's important to know what might be working, what might not be working. So I see this application for so many different types of businesses, both large and small. And I know that there are different packages. I know, that will fit anyone's budget. And I know that it's flexible, so it can go up or down in terms of text messages, things like that. I think, Greg, you mentioned it's only in the United States, not over in Europe. Also,
United States and Canada.
United States and Canada. So for those that are listening in my LinkedIn platform, I know I have a lot of international friends. It's only if you're here in the United States or Canada. But what other businesses or ways that this could be used? Because my mind is just kind of racing right now. There's so many applications, but for those that are listening, anything else that you guys can think of that maybe might help other businesses?
Oh my gosh. When I have events, like Valerie had said, the whole concept of taking things out of your brain, creating a system for it, plugging it into a system, and then you go on and you do other income producing activities, right? While that system is running, producing income on the sideline, because you've already programmed everything in there. I work with busy women all the time. They're busy. They have intentions of doing something. And when they get the initial text, they're like, yeah, I'm definitely doing it. And then the dog throws up, right? Or somebody call, right? And it's out of sight, out of mind. So the fact that I've already set up the campaign where it reminds them, like, we're not bugging them, we're reminding them, because we're assuming that this is something they really do want to engage in, but we're all busy, and so this system allows them to get a reminder and go, oh yeah, that's right, and then the day of kind of thing. But I don't have to physically go back and worry about putting it in my schedule to send those text messages out. I set it up one time, or I actually have my assistant set it up one time, and then then I forget about it. I go on and do other things that bring business into my money, that bring money into my business.
I love that idea. What I also love is that I'm constantly networking with people, and then I mean, my weakness is this is a strength and a weakness. I'm an avid networker.
Right.
Then when, you know how they always say, it's important to follow up.
Yeah. Oh.
That's where my challenge is, because I'm trying to remember, okay, who did I say I was supposed to follow up with for this upcoming meeting that's coming up? That's where my challenge is. And because as I told everyone, I have my fingers in so many different little things. I need to create that system that you talked about. So when I follow up with someone for my cryptocurrency business, who might not be for my travel insurance business, that I have one follow-up for those people who are in the travel side who need to buy their insurance before their trip goes, versus someone who's needs to be just shared information about my business, a webinar, which is going to be coming up. So you're right. That can really save you time.
Well, and I like the way that there is organization within the text P2P system.
Yeah.
You have different lists for different things. Like I essentially have two businesses. I've got a mentoring side of my business, and then I have a customer and a consultant side of my business.
Exactly.
And I'm not going to send the same text message to a customer that I would send to a woman that I'm mentoring. And I have different levels of customers. Some are VIPs, some are just on the fringes. And again, I'm not going to say this, they're not going to be in the same group, and same thing with the women that I'm mentoring. And so I like the idea that I can categorize within the same system and everything is good. The other thing that I absolutely love and I use all the time is the fact that I can create a campaign, and then I can use that campaign for something completely different and tweak it. And I don't have to recreate the whole thing all over again. All I'm doing is taking what I already created, copying it, and then tweaking it to fit my new campaign.
That's great. Valerie, are you doing the same thing?
Yeah. I mean, what I really like about it is that, so for the surveys that we have to do to find out what our impact is, I'm going to set them up quarterly because I'm starting a new survey. And so I'll set it up quarterly. And then what I'll do is, through my other system that I have for my clients, is get their information. I can put it in there. And then each quarter, as I add names to that list, if I had the way I have it set up, it will automatically shoot out that survey. So it's not finite. So it's not finite. So you don't have to set it all up and then you put the names in and then that campaign runs. Oh, now I have to set it up again.
Right.
You can set it up so that whenever you add the names, it shoots out the survey automatically. So that's really good for me. And then
does it send it to a separate group of people or the same batch?
Well, just if you had, a good example is and correct me if I'm wrong, Greg, let's see if I'm a good student, but is that if you set it up where you have a welcome message and you meet someone networking, and I get Kathy's number and I can stick Kathy's number in there, she automatically gets a welcome message from me. And then somebody else I can meet 2 days later and put their name in, and now they get a welcome message. So I'm not having to set up a new campaign every time. I just put their number in there and they get, I assign them to that workflow, I think is what he calls it. Yeah. And I think, correct me, Greg, if I'm wrong.
People call it a drip campaign, but essentially it starts the drip when you add somebody.
Yeah,
that's great. Yeah. That's great. And for those that are in the field of business and marketing, you're going to be very familiar with this. And also the other thing that I might mention is that at the bottom of the podcast and YouTube, there'll be my affiliate link, because I'm going to be, very transparent with you. So when you click on that, you're able to have a 14-day free trial. So you can check it out. And then it's going to support me and it will support, everyone else, and that everyone who becomes involved with Text2P2P has access to an affiliate link. So that's another way for you to also additionally raise money, both for causes that you care about, as well as for your business and things like that. So this has been great. I know that I'm going to be having Greg, Kathy, and Valerie on again. We're going to be talking about, both their businesses, how they got involved, and a host of other topics. Any last minute thoughts, guys, that you would like to share? Because it's a really easy program, and I'm not saying because I'm involved with this from the affiliate side now, but really I'm been blown away with how easy it is to use. That's why I asked everyone to come on, because I know as busy business people, we need to maximize our time in order to do what we all love.
Yep.
So
I'll just say that I tried to make it affordable for even like a solopreneur or a larger business, a much larger business, because I have all sorts of customers that use my platform, and like Valerie said, you can sign up for a pay-as-you-go $5 a month plan, or you could, I have a starter plan which gives you 500 texts a month for just $21. So it's extremely affordable. But then I have much larger customers. I have a customer, Modair, that is doing a conference this weekend, and they're sending out 100,000 texts. So it's whatever you need.
Yep. Any other last minute thoughts, Valerie or Kathy?
I mean, I would just say the way he has it set up so that you can, the flexibility of completely shutting it off. Don't be afraid to try it. Try it, learn a little bit about it, play around with it. He has lots of videos on there, and it is really easy to use and efficient. And I think once you start to learn about all the different functions, you'll find different ways to apply it to your business, whether you're a for-profit or not for-profit.
Yeah, I would piggyback on both of that. It is designed for the person who wants to maximize their time.
Yeah,
it really is. It's a well thought out program. It's very easy. It's very user friendly. It's very easy to use. The customer service is 10 stars across the board. There's just no flaw in the customer service, the way he has it laid out, both with him personally holding your hand and with the platform, the customer service platform he has already established. It's just a very easy program. It's it's very affordable, even for a small business, and it's fun. It's actually fun. My assistant has to keep saying that you're not supposed to be doing that. That's my job. But it's kind of fun to set up the the drip campaigns and stuff like this. You're like, but that's not your job. I was like, I know, but I'm just saying. So yeah.
Anyway, thank you guys. Greg, thank you so much for creating this, and Kathy and Valerie, thank you so much for coming on and sharing. And I agree with you. It is fun, and I look forward to talking to all of you soon again.
As you as well.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye. Have a great weekend. Thank you.